Welcome to Swiftly Spoken, a fan-made Taylor Swift podcast in which we analyse her artistry, including her lyricism, music videos, and full album retrospectives. As always, we're your hosts, Lisa and Cameron, and this week we're very excited to be celebrating Lover's 3rd anniversary by chatting about the Lover Secret Sessions with Madeeha, who was invited to the listening party in London. We're very honoured to be joined by our very first guest here on Swiftly Spoken, Madeeha, who has graciously agreed to chat about her experience at the Lover Secret Sessions in London with us back in 2019. So Taylor held exclusive listening parties for 3 of her albums. It started with 1989, then she did the Secret Sessions again for Reputation, and finally the last one, for now, has been Lover. In all of these parties, she would pick out Swifties to attend and experience these albums before they were released to the general public, listening to them for the very first time, also giving commentary about each of the tracks. So these get-togethers are, of course, very exclusive and extremely personal. So we're both very, very grateful to be joined by Madeeha to talk a bit about her own experience. We can start off basically by asking you to introduce yourself a little bit and tell us a bit about yourself and how you became a fan of Taylor.
Okay, cool. Okay, so my name is Madeeha. I run Can't Say Hello to You on Instagram. I've kind of always loved Taylor's music, but I think it was We're Never Ever Getting Back Together. I don't know what it was about that song, but I heard it. I was 12 years old, and I was just like, I became obsessed with her, and I was like, I remember she was on like X Factor and she was doing like talk shows and stuff, and I would make sure I would watch every single one.
Yeah.
I begged my parents to buy me all her perfumes and merch and stuff like that. And so basically it's been, I guess that would make it almost 10 years since I've been a Swiftie, which is crazy. And in 2019 I was invited to the Lover Secret Sessions in London, which is still literally so insane to me.
Right.
But yeah, I think that's all.
No, I think I know the X Factor performance you're talking about. Like,
Yeah.
I vividly remember watching that one as well. Like, yeah, I do miss that Taylor doesn't do like X Factor and like
things like that, yeah.
what's it like? Britain's Got Talent. When her and Ed Sheeran did Britain's Got
Yeah.
Talent. Yeah, no, those are like vivid memories as being a Taylor Swift fan of like watching them and being like, I have to see this, and sat there like desperately with the that is really cool. That's cool. And it's strange, yeah, that We're Never Ever Getting Back Together was because I was about the same age. I was about 12 when that came out as well. And yeah, and for me, if just to kind of all introduce ourselves, my first discovery of Taylor was Love Story back when I was 9, and my friend had the Love Story music video on their like iPod 3, and they're like, watch this video. Yeah, they're like, watch this video. And I was like, oh, this is so cool, and sat and watched it, and then was like, oh my god, this girl is so cool. Like, I want to know some of her more of her songs. And then I remember being shown the You Belong With Me music video as well on an iPod 3, and that was my first discovery of Taylor. And then I thought, oh, I want to save up my money and get this CD. So I saved up my money and bought Fearless, and that was kind of then how, a bit like you, then it was like, now it's an obsession. Now I have to know every song, have every album, every piece of merch ever. So yeah, that's kind of how I discovered Taylor.
It's interesting how we can all have really like similar but different. I guess I'll go ahead as well now. I can't even remember. I think it was somewhere just before Speak Now came out, and just one day I was browsing YouTube and went down the rabbit hole basically of Taylor, and just from there it just turned into what it is now, which, like you guys said, a bit of an obsession. But so what kind of era would you say would be your favorite? Do you prefer like the country music? Obviously you got involved with Taylor from We Are Never Ever Getting Back Together, so she was already kind of transitioning to pop. So how do you feel about the country eras? Do you like them?
I love them. Honestly, I missed the country music so much when she went to pop. Like, I love the pop music, but I think because of like more country influences, and like when she released Betty, I was like, oh my god, country music.
Yeah.
I was literally so happy, and I like really missed it. But yeah, I love the country music.
Oh, that's great.
What would you say is your favorite album then? Like, what's your? If I know it's hard to pick, but like, what would you say?
I feel like I have to say Lover because it's really sentimental to me. But apart from that, Speak Now, I love Speak Now.
Yes. We are big. You are with
Yes.
two big Speak Now
Yeah.
fans, so we massively
Yeah.
agree. Yeah, we love. Our last episode, we just did a Last Kiss episode, and both of us were just like having a proper like Speak Now nerd off of just like, this is such a good album. Like,
So
what the hell?
good.
So yeah, no, we totally agree on that. Speak Now, but for me, even though Speak Now is ranked high, Red. There's something about Red.
Yeah.
I think especially Red Taylor's version, an album that
Yeah.
has All Too Well 10 Minute and
Oh my
Better Man
God.
on it, for me, it just trumps everything. Unfortunately, that's Red is my favorite and will always be.
Don't even ask me. I couldn't even begin. I couldn't even begin to say which one. They're just
You,
all my babies.
you are a bit of an Evermore.
I am an
though,
Evermore
aren't you?
stan.
Yeah.
I do love her very much.
you do love Evermore.
Yeah, the writing in that is just. But yeah, I guess it must have been. You do get emotionally attached to certain albums because of things, and obviously being at such a moment that is the Secret Sessions.
Yeah, definitely. Honestly, it's just everyone kind of like has their mixed opinions about that album, but I remember the first time I heard it and I was like, this is such a good album. Like, it's so good. I feel like there may be like one or two songs where everyone's just like, but I feel like it's still like, it's a pretty good album. The songs on it is Death by a Thousand Cuts, Cornelia Street, Lover, Afterglow. It's just so good.
Yeah, it is. And to be fair, I suppose that if we get into that now, so I guess you were contacted by Taylor Nation to be invited. So obviously, I'm guessing you had a fan account. When did you decide to create your fan account, and then how were you kind of contacted to be invited?
So I made my Instagram account in 2014, but I was actually contacted through Tumblr, which is really strange because I'd stopped using it because I didn't really use it after kind of like the Reputation era.
Yeah.
After Taylor kind of stopped using it that much, I kind of stopped as well. But I was that like Tumblr girl in like 2012, like just girly things and all of that. But and then when I started becoming kind of obsessed with Taylor, I kind of sort of transitioned to a Taylor Swift account. But like I don't have any. I have like maybe 100 followers on there, and I don't really use it that much. So I don't know how. There was this one like fan project I think I was involved in, and I think Taylor liked that post, so I think maybe she found me through there. I honestly have no idea, but they DM'd me on Tumblr. Although I'm not gonna lie, when we were at the Secret Sessions and they were kind of like signing us in, they were like checking our details on the laptop. I kind of like peeked over at the screen and I saw the exact picture that they had of me.
Really?
Yeah, and I remember telling everyone there, and they were like, "Oh my God, did you see my picture?" I was like, "No, I only saw mine." But it was literally like a picture of me standing in front of the Me billboard in Leicester Square.
Oh, the like countdown one.
Yeah. So then I think maybe Taylor saw that and sent it to Taylor Nation. I have no idea.
That's mad. That is mad.
That is so
crazy.
cool.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, "Oh my God, I can't believe you saw that." And I'm like, I probably wasn't supposed to look at that.
Yeah, that's so cool. So had you posted that photo onto Tumblr, or was that something that you posted onto Instagram?
I posted it on both. So...
Right. Okay. That's so interesting because obviously Taylor has, like you said, she's pulled away from Tumblr quite a lot now. So it's interesting to see, like, she caught you while you were both still kind of on that platform.
Yeah, really, really strange because I literally have no mutuals, no followers on there, so I don't know.
Right.
That's mad.
So
and then
that can give everyone a bit of can give everyone a bit of hope.
Exactly. Yeah. Even on Instagram, I didn't have like that many followers, so
very cool. And then what was your reaction then getting that message? Because like my reaction would kind of be, is this legit? Like, is this real?
It was like, it's so funny because they sent it at 1 a.m.
Oh my God, that's so sketch.
Yeah, and I was still, because obviously like time differences and stuff, and I remember like vividly, like my sister was going on a school trip the next day and she wanted to borrow one of my bags, and I was like adamantly saying like, no, you can't use it, this is mine. And then she was like begging me, like, please use your bag, please. And I was like, no. And my parents were texting me, like, can you just let her use it so she can shut up and go to sleep? I was like, no, she can't have it. And then I saw the DM and I was like, oh my God. And I clicked it and I like clicked the account to make sure it was the real account. And I was like so happy. I was like to my sister, do you know what? Take the bag, I don't care. Go away. Please. I was freaking out.
That is mad. So like, I'm guessing, because normally I've seen some screenshots, was it just kind of saying like you've been invited Because when was it? Was it only when Me was out, or was like You Need to Calm Down out at this point?
I think You Need to Calm Down was out. It was like 2 weeks before the actual thing, and
Oh, okay.
they don't
Okay.
actually say that you've been invited to a secret session. All they say
Okay.
is, "Hi, we've seen that you're like a really big fan, and we'd like to get some more information off you." And then they ask for your like name, email, phone number.
Yeah.
And then so I
Wow.
sent that, and I was like anxiously waiting for them to phone or email
Yeah.
me or something, and I was like on my phone constantly. And
I
then I
bet.
think maybe like a week or a couple of days after, I don't remember exactly, they like phone, because I remember I saw a phone number coming from like New York, and I was like, oh my god, it's them.
Oh
And then
gosh.
they like phone you, and then they like tell you that you're invited to a secret event. They don't tell you what it is, but it's kind of like
Right.
obvious, sort of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They give you like a secret code and the location.
Wow.
Ooh.
Like, just make your way here, and it's like a secret location, and then when you get there, they kind of sign everyone in, explain everything, and then you get in a coach, and then they drive to like her house.
Gosh.
It
So
really is so
yeah.
sketchy. Like,
It's so sketchy. I remember telling my mom, I was like to my mom,
yeah.
Taylor Swift just invited me to her house, and she was like, "Are
What?
you sure?" And she was like, "Okay, but where is it?" I was like, "Well, they didn't
I don't
tell
know.
me. They just told me to go to this place." And then she's like, that's very sketchy. Like,
Yeah.
are you sure? I was like, "No, it's fine, and I don't care if you say I can't go, I'm still going. You can't stop me."
So were you told like who you could tell? Like, was it limited
They
on like?
literally said, "Don't tell anyone except your like you could have one emergency contact."
Gosh.
Wow.
So yeah, so obviously I gave them like my mom's phone number, because like obviously when you're there they take your phones, so if something happens, they can like phone your emergency contact.
Yeah.
But like, I'm not gonna lie, I did like tell my friend.
Yeah.
It must be so
was
hard, like, because you must just be so excited.
yeah, I literally couldn't. It was so hard to keep it a secret. I'm not good at keeping secrets.
Oh, neither am I. No,
I'm
I'm the
really bad.
same.
I just get too excited, and I feel like I have to tell someone.
Exactly, and then I would be like, oh, like, because I guess you would have to then sort out what you're gonna wear, and
Yeah,
like stuff like that, and I would just be like, oh yeah, this is for when I'm going to this. Oh no, I can't say.
yeah,
You know what I mean? It must be so
exactly.
hard to like not like not say anything. So what was that? 2 weeks, did you say, before
I
the
think
actual date?
I think so. Yeah.
So you had like 2 weeks of just kind of like, what do I do? What do I do?
Anxiously
What do I do?
waiting. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like panicking. I
and
mean,
then
I did tell like some of my friends. I was like, you know what? They're not gonna say anything. It's fine. Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
but it
So
was
was
yeah,
so the I guess then the day of the event, so you got contacted,
yeah,
then 2 weeks of just anticipation of like what's it going to be, what's it going to be. Did you
yeah.
what was kind of going through your head when you were thinking about what the day was going to like entail and stuff? Were you like really stressed? Were you thinking, I've got to do this for the pose, I've got to say this? Had you planned what you're
Yeah,
going to
I
say to
was
Taylor?
so nervous. I was like, oh my
Yeah.
god, what am I gonna say to her? She's gonna be standing right in front of me. Like, what do I do?
Wow.
I'm like I had all this stuff in my head, but then when it actually happens, my mind's just like, oh my god, that's Taylor Swift, and I can't think of anything.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I was just standing there like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. And then she kind of just like started talking to me instead and asking me questions,
Mm.
and I was
Yeah.
like, oh my god,
No,
it was just
that is mad. So did you have to when you kind of went to the event, was it like really early in the morning? Because I've heard some stuff about secret sessions where these are like hour-long kind of events that are like, almost like a whole day, and some of them, some
yeah,
of the like American ones were like 3 a.m. they
yeah,
were still
3
there.
a.m. Yeah, I mean, for hours, I think, because when we left, they kind of left in batches, because there was one coach and I was in the second batch, so I got back at like 11, even though they said we would be back at 10. And I think we had to meet around 4 or 5 o'clock,
Oh, okay.
and we
Okay.
were in the like original meeting place, so we were like an hour, and then everyone kind of got in the buses and went, and we were at her house for like 5 hours, or maybe it was
Wow. It's quite a
7.
long time. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember the exact times, I'm not gonna lie, but we were there
Yeah.
for a
I mean,
long time.
it's been 3 years now, so.
Yeah.
But again, you said earlier, it's very difficult to even sink in and process that it all went
Exactly.
down. It's just such an amazing experience. But there must also have been, like you said, a lot of nerves, but also a lot of like pressure, because obviously if you're over 18, you go alone, right?
Yeah, exactly. I was 19, so
Okay.
I went by myself, and I think there was like quite a few people that had their parents, and then Although I did recognize some people there, like from
Oh, really?
Instagram and stuff. And I remember seeing people, I was like, oh my god, I follow that person, I follow that person. It was so weird. And it's weird because I'm like very like socially awkward. Like I find it really hard to speak to people in real life. But I feel like being in this room with all these other people that also love Taylor Swift, it was so easy kind
Yeah.
of to talk to people. Like I talk to a lot of people, and I'm not the type of person who would usually do that. So I feel like it was really nice, this kind of like community sort of that's like created.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that does seem really nice because I'm
Yeah.
kind of the same where it's like, yeah, I can be quite socially awkward around people and struggle to kind of have conversations and stuff.
Yeah.
So I would kind of be quite panicked that there would be, you know, however many other people in this room all trying to kind of vying for Taylor's like attention and stuff, and then having to and just trying not to just sink into the background or like introvert myself so much that I just don't want to talk. So that's quite nice that there was this environment of kind of like community with all these Swifties and stuff, and the fact that that you recognize people. So did you, when you kind of met at the secret location, were you kind of chatting to people on the bus and stuff? What was kind of the atmosphere on the bus? Were they playing music, or was it just kind of this, everyone was so tense and like
Yeah, on the bus they didn't, but when we got there, we were kind of in her like conservatory, I guess, and they were playing music, and I think she made a playlist during the Love era, and
I think is that the Apple Music one?
I think so.
Yeah.
And then I remember they played "You Need to Calm Down."
Yeah.
And everyone started like
screaming
the lyrics.
Oh, that's so cool.
It's kind of annoying that we never got the secret session video because they filmed all of it, including us screaming to that song. And I think it would have been really funny to watch that part.
Yeah, that was something that we was actually going to ask you, if you noticed if there was people recording, because I have read things about other people saying, you know, it was recorded, and we did get really, really amazing emotional videos from the 1989 secret sessions and from the Reputation secret sessions, which I love watching. And I can only imagine, like, you guys who were actually there, it would be such a lovely memory to have recorded. So you said that there was people recording.
They were definitely, like, I remember we pulled up to the house in the coach and they literally told us to like run up to the door and that they would record us. And
oh my
they
god,
were recording everything. Like they had, you know, those very big cameras that you like put on your shoulder, like proper like filming cameras. They filmed everything.
Gosh.
But we were kind of like expecting the video, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And every single time she said she was gonna release something, we kind of got a bit like anticipation, like during, I think we thought maybe it was going to be in the documentary, or maybe she was waiting for tour. We were like, when is the video coming, and then it never came, and we were just like, oh,
that is such a shame. That is really a shame, because if it was all, there was obviously a plan, because it was being recorded. And I love seeing them things because it's just so emotional to see. In the end, I guess we all want to meet Taylor in the end, right? But it's really lovely to see other people's reactions, and just such a nice day, and a lot, you know, so much excitement as well. So
and it's weird because it's kind of like right now it's just like in your head, and it almost seems not real, and I feel like the video would have made it
right.
But
so after you rocked up then at Taylor's house and they kind of played the playlist, how was kind of Taylor introduced into the room? Were you kind of all told to sit down, or did she kind of come in surprised, like, hi? What was kind of that like the initial kind of the initial kind of phases of the secret session?
Right. So basically we got there and we were in her conservatory and they had loads of food out. They'd got pizza from like Pizza Express, and like
lovely.
There was like little mini sliders, and there was like sweets and drinks and stuff. So we were all kind of just like mingling, and after that was over, they were kind of like, okay, come this way into the living room, and we all like sat on the floor, and then the parents sat on the back on the sofas, and there was like a chair right at the front with the speakers.
Oh gosh.
And then this room was kind of connected to another room, and that was the room that Taylor was in. So then I think people kind of sussed that she was there, but then she kind of opened the door and she was like, guys, and we were like, oh my god.
Oh my god.
And she came sat in there, and she had an iPod. It's actually so funny because it was 2019, but she literally had an iPod, and she connected it to the speakers to play the songs from. And I was just thinking, damn, this girl has an iPod.
Yeah. To be fair, I always, because I remember like when she like played, I think when Ed Sheeran like first heard Everything Has Changed, they sent it over like in an iPod like locked away. And I think Greg James was the same when he first heard Blank Space, when they did that video. She had like an iPod sent over to him, and that was like the only song on there. So yeah, it's like clearly her thing of like keeping it on iPods. That's so funny that in 2019 Taylor was still like rocking an iPod. So I guess then she sat down, plugged in her iPod, and then did she kind of intro the album? Like, what did she kind of say?
So first she kind of like said some sort of ground rules. She was like, please, like I remember one of the things she was like, please don't directly quote me on anything I say, because I think maybe in previous sessions people had like directly quoted her, and she was like, people have said I said this, and then I literally never said that. So I guess she was like kind of like, if you want, maybe like paraphrase things, but don't like say I said this, because in case I didn't and you don't remember it correctly.
No, that's really, really interesting, because obviously the people on the outside, we can only but trust, you guys who were there. And then, it's kind of like the Reputation Secret Session Gorgeous thing all over again.
Yeah, exactly.
You can only but trust what people are saying, and then obviously people can twist things or understand things differently or whatever. So that's really interesting. Yeah.
So then, I guess then she kind of said that, and then was it for each song? Did she kind of give you guys the background behind the songs and then play them? And
she did. She explained kind of every song. Some songs had like longer explanations, and some were kind of like straightforward. And she also did skip Me and You Need to Calm Down, because she was like, this is a really long album. This is a really long album, and we don't have time to play all the songs. So she skipped those. And we were all kind of like, oh, like, just play them.
Oh yeah, that's interesting that she skipped them. Did she give any background behind them, or was it just kind of, she just said, oh, I'm not going to play these?
Yeah, she was like, okay, so next would be You Need to Calm Down, but I'm not going to play that, so we'll just go to the next song. It's kind of just
right.
That's so interesting that she kind of skipped them. So the album was in order then, so you heard it right from
although I think for ours she actually played it in the wrong order. I don't remember exactly what it was. I think she played Soon You'll Get Better in the wrong place or something, because I remember when the second Secret Session happened, and I think the like track list got leaked or something.
Yeah,
everyone was kind of like, oh yeah, because we kind of made a group chat after of everyone who went, and
okay,
like, oh yeah, she didn't like play in the right order or something, but apart from that it was pretty much in order.
That's really cool. I've always wondered whether, because after the Secret Sessions you kind of see like, oh, people give their opinions like, oh, track 5 was like this, and then it seems like sometimes they're not the order that the Secret Session has initially said, and I've always wondered whether Taylor on purpose mixes it up so that people don't really know what's the track, or she plays it in order because that's the order that it's supposed to be listened to.
Maybe she does. I didn't really think of that before.
So yeah, I guess then when Taylor played the album, what was your first impressions?
I thought it was amazing, and I feel like it's a really different, especially since they had these like massive speakers, so it was kind of like blasting, so they were kind of amplified, so they seemed better, and also because it's like the first time you're hearing it, it's like special. But I genuinely did think it was a really good album, because I remember specifically people being like, from the Reputation one, oh yeah, Gorgeous has lyrics that can cut glass.
Oh god.
Like, I was thinking, like, when I heard it, I was like, do you know what, this is a good album, like, it's a really good album. And I was like, I remember saying it's a really good album, and I'm not just saying that because I went to see this, like, it is a good album.
Right. It's really interesting because I don't know about you, but my face when I listen to music for the first time is so neutral. Like, I'd be so crap at a Secret Session because I'd just be like squinting my eyes, like, what's going on? But I guess there must have been such electricity in the room with each song. Like, were people screaming? Were they like crying at some points? Were people just silent?
I feel like almost everyone cried when she played Soon You'll Get Better.
Right.
We actually left the room.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
When she played that, it was like kind of like the middle point, and we actually so she said, she kind of explained the song, what it was about, and said like, this is a really emotional song for me and I can't really like listen to it right now. So she left the room, and then like we listened to the song, and then after that she came back with the big tray of the like heart-shaped Rice Krispie treats.
Yeah.
And she was just standing in the doorway, and everyone kind of like clamored around her, like trying to get one. And then because again, like it was a long album, we took like a little break in between, so she kind of led us all into the garden. And because she was just standing in the doorway and everyone was just crowded around her, and someone from Taylor Nation was like, okay, just like, you know, move, go somewhere else, because everyone was just standing there. And then we went into the garden, and she like personally introduced herself to everyone's parents.
Oh god.
Wow.
That came, which was really sweet. And she had a trampoline in the garden, and then I think someone asked her if like they could go on it, and she said yeah, sure. And there was like 10 people jumping on this one trampoline.
That's so mad.
And it was so funny. And she was there with like, she was standing there with a glass of wine, and she was like, yeah, those are my kids.
Oh, I love her.
But yeah, and then after that, and also during this, they had like more snacks out. There was like these heart-shaped biscuits that had like pink icing, and it said lover on it.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
And there were these like little heart-shaped jelly beans and these like heart-shaped cake pops. Everything was like heart-shaped, and she had Smarties in pastel colors that said lover on them.
No way. No, like
the branding.
No
of it
expenses.
all.
Spared. Like, oh my gosh, she went like all out. So when you were out there, was she like chatting, other than kind of introducing herself to the parents? Was she kind of chatting to people individually? You know?
Yeah, she talked to a few people that I think that she kind of like recognized, like specifically, and she talked to a few people, and then we went back in and kind of finished off the album.
Yeah, that's so exciting. That must. Did you ever kind of think like, oh my gosh, that's Taylor Swift? Like,
yeah, literally, like, I was just like, this is not real. Like, what is happening right now?
Yeah, was it kind of, because I would find it quite overwhelming thinking I've got to try hearing these songs for the first time, because like, you know, hearing a new Taylor Swift song is quite overwhelming as it is. Then Taylor Swift is sat in front of you, and then also there's all these other people. It must have been quite hard to be like, okay, try and remember all of this, like cramming it in your head. Like,
literally.
like trying to remember. Was there anything that really kind of sticks out for you with those songs, or like those memories, like of first time hearing them? Was there any part of the song that you were like, wow, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I have in general a really bad memory. I'm like a goldfish. But yeah, I think the songs that stuck out to me the most were Lover and London Boy, because obviously I'm from London, and like, oh my god, you wrote a song about London, that's so cool, I'm from London. And like all the places in London, like, you know, like Bond Street and Hackney and all of that, and I was like, oh my god. And then Lover as well, she kind of like, I mean, I'm not really allowed to say exactly what she said, but she kind of like called it, I personally described it as like a love song, because I think she said something along the lines of like, she's never written a song that's just about love. It's usually like love and heartbreak, or love and longing, love and something. She's never written a song that's just love. And how she used all the instruments that were only from like the 50s or before, or something like that. It was like very like classic, a timeless song, and I just thought it was like so beautiful. And like those were the two songs that really kind of stuck out to me.
I guess very interesting.
Yeah, what was people's reaction? Sorry, but both of us are just too excited. We're like, we just want to ask a million questions. What was people's reaction when she said like, God, I love the English? Did people kind of like go, like,
yeah,
you know?
we were all like, oh my god,
because obviously in America people might be like, oh, okay, but to hear that,
it was crazy. We were just like, oh, she was like, this next song is called London Boy, and we were like,
what? I know you can't really say like quote her or anything like that, we don't expect you to, but were there any stories that she told that really stuck with you, like about any of the songs?
Yeah, I think It's Nice to Have a Friend. It's so weird because it's like the shortest song, but it had the longest explanation.
Really?
Yeah, and so she kind of talked about how she got the kids from that school in Toronto, I think it was.
Yeah.
To like play the instruments, and she was kind of talking about one of her childhood friends and stuff like that. And yeah, she kind of like talked a lot for that song. And
wow.
Yeah, it was really weird because I remember like when I left and I got my phone back, and I was like madly like trying to type everything I could remember off the top of my head, and there's like so many typos, and it's like that had like the longest paragraph. It's like really strange because it's such a short, kind of straightforward song, but she talked a lot about it.
That's so interesting. Lisa will be very excited to hear that, because
Yes.
one of Lisa's
I
favorite
like
songs
that
on
song.
Lover is "It's Nice to Have a Friend." So that's really
Yeah.
interesting that she gave such a detailed
Yeah.
kind of talk about something that was quite short. And I guess then when she was talking about the songs, was she kind of giving details about how they were written and where she started with them? And maybe did she talk about how they were created in the studio or anything like that, or was it just purely the stories behind them?
So yeah, some of them were like talking about who she wrote them with. Like, I don't remember which song it was that she wrote with Saint Vincent, and some of them she kind of talked about the stories. I think with Death by a Thousand Cuts, she was talking about how she was obviously inspired by someone great to write that song.
Mm-hmm.
And she was talking about this kind of full circle moment with the person who wrote that movie, because I think she maybe sent the song to the person who wrote the movie, and she found out that the person who wrote it based that movie off Taylor's song Clean.
Yeah.
And was talking about how it was kind of a full circle moment and stuff like that. But yeah, so some of the songs she explained the stories, some of them she explained kind of like the experience writing them or how she started it and stuff like that.
That's so cool. And that's interesting that Taylor acknowledged the fact that she almost like indirectly wrote a song inspired by one of her songs, which we've talked about before, haven't we, on this podcast, of how like cool that is. And the fact that even
how
Taylor
songs will
acknowledged
connect.
and it's mad that Taylor acknowledged that herself, that it's quite a cool thing that she wrote a song about her own song without even realizing it, which is so cool. And was there any song that got the biggest reaction, like say like Cruel Summer, for example? I can imagine that the reaction to that would have been quite electric.
I think that Lover, London Boy, and I remember which one was it? No, London Boy, because she obviously name drops Stella McCartney, and she also did tell us at that point that she had a collection with like the Lover thing.
She gave you the exclusive. Wow.
Yeah, and she obviously said don't tell anyone, but I'm sure it leaked anyway. But
yeah,
and I remember her saying that she made sure she told Stella that she was going to use her name in the song before obviously it got released.
Right, because she's
sort of
because so obviously cool. She's had some bad experiences with that previously, so that
so
that's so interesting.
Got a big reaction as well.
Wow. Going back to Lover just for a minute, obviously at that point she hadn't released it as like a single, right?
Yeah.
Did she mention at all that that was the plan, or she kept it quiet?
No, I don't remember. I'm not gonna. She might have, but I don't think she did.
Right.
Or did she show you? Because I know from the Reputation secret sessions, they were kind of shown the Ready for It music video, I think, before it came out. Did you get to see any videos of anything or any other exclusive information like the Stella McCartney collab? Was there anything that Taylor kind of hinted at or teased?
No, apart from the collab, she didn't really mention anything else.
How much she trusts you guys and her fans in general, especially seeing that, unfortunately, like you said before, just previous to the London one, I believe some things got leaked for the American ones. They had to jam two together, right?
Yeah, I saw that,
Yeah, so, but she's still very trusting, which is so sweet to think of.
Yeah, even after that all of that stuff happened, she still kind of re-invited them and joined it, so...
Yeah, and also I've seen a lot of stories, and maybe you can tell us that some people would be like stealing soap from her bathroom and things like that.
Yeah, I took napkins from her because she had like these heart-shaped ones in her conservatory when we were eating food, and there were these like different ones in her bathroom, and I kind of like shoved them in my pocket. I was like, you know what? It's fine.
To be fair, they're intended to be used.
Yeah,
so,
it's just
But some people like kept their like biscuit that said Lover and they like didn't eat it, and like
okay.
I ate mine, but
like,
some people had the cake pop and it came in like a plastic wrapper. They opened the wrapper and kind of like put all the like, I think I said they were Smarties before, but they were actually M&Ms. The M&Ms that said Lover on it, and put them inside the cake pop and like shoved it in their pocket, and they were kind of like half melted when we got out. But
Yeah.
To be fair, I think I would be like that. I'm a bit of a collector of stuff, and
Yeah.
if anything had like lover written on it, to be fair, the biscuit like you described, I think I've seen. Has it kind of it's kind of like it's got like pink icing, hasn't it? And kind of like some like silver balls on it. If I'm correct.
Yeah, sprinkles.
Yeah, I think that I would like. I'd be like, I can't eat this. Like, I would just be like, I couldn't let go of this.
Honestly.
I'd be like, I'll just eat the Rice Krispies, and you know, no, that I would be the same. But then I forget, it is food, and by the end of the night, it's probably all mashed up in your pocket. So it's probably just worth eating it. So I guess then,
Sorry,
you go, Lisa.
I was just gonna say, while we're talking about food, those you said they were like the Rice Krispie ones. Those are the photo that she put up, right?
Yeah. It's so funny because there was this one girl there that said that she'd been a vegetarian for 9 years, and she probably realized that the like, because obviously it's marshmallows in it, that like gelatin in it or something, and she was, but she still ate it because she was like, do you know what, I ate it, eat it. I don't care if I've been a vegetarian for 9 years.
She's like, for Taylor, anything. Oh my god, were they nice? Were they good?
Yeah, they were really nice. It made my tongue purple, but
that's what I was gonna say, because Taylor like prides herself on her kind of baking and cookery skills, and I'm intrigued whether they were really, really, like, if they were really good.
They were best Rice Krispies you ever eaten.
Which, by the way, if anyone is interested in Taylor's cooking and all things Taylor, really, they need to check out your Instagram, because your Instagram is Can't Say Hello to You, right?
Yeah.
And you do so many posts about like all of these tiny little details that I would have never have thought about even looking into. And one of them is your series on every type of food Taylor's ever cooked, right?
Yeah.
So where do you find the recipes from? Like the Rice Krispie one, like how did you even find that?
I think the Rice Krispie one, I don't know if someone asked Taylor, but when we were on the group chat, someone like sent the recipe. I don't know.
Oh wow.
But I kind of just copied it off that, and then all the other recipes I kind of just did a deep dive on the internet of all the like, if she mentioned it in like a magazine or something, sometimes she would share the recipe, or she would say like that she used a specific recipe, and then I would find that recipe. And it took a long time, but those kind of things, I don't know, I just find it really fun doing stuff like that.
For sure, yeah. It's so interesting as well. We love digging into any random thing really to do with Taylor. It's so interesting.
So I guess then after you kind of went through the album with, I guess Daylight was the final song.
Yeah.
What kind of happened after Taylor had finished with the album? Did she say anything? Was that then the point where you went to meet her individually?
So she went back into the room that she like came out of in the beginning, and then we all kind of left the living room, went back into the conservatory, and then people kind of lined up in the hallway in groups. And the room we were in, actually, I think the wall in the middle, you could kind of like move it to the side. So the room that she was in initially, and the room we were in kind of like became one big room.
Okay.
And they like moved the sofas around, because there was like 3 sofas and an armchair. So they kind of moved them around so that people could take pictures on whichever one they wanted to take like a picture on. And people kind of lined up in like groups to meet her, and then so you kind of just go in, meet her, talk to her, take a picture, and then when you come out, they give you the like tote bag with the merch in it, and then you go outside, sit on the coach, and then when the coach is filled up, it would take those people back, and then the next group would come out.
Gosh, so how long was the wait? Like, because I would be someone that wouldn't want to be first. I'd be like, oh, I've got to,
I don't want to be first. And I think I didn't even realize that the first group had gone, because I was like kind of talking to other people. But I was in
that's nice.
The second group. So I think the first group did get back at 10, which was the original time they told us that we were going to get back. And then I was in the second group, so we got back at around 11. And then there was the last group, I think, that didn't come back until maybe 12 or 1.
Gosh.
Yeah. But I think the first group, I think they asked everyone if they had like a train ticket, if they needed to get back like at the actual time.
Right, quickly,
Yeah, but I think I was getting picked up, so I was like, no, it's fine. So then the people who had train tickets went first, and then everyone else went after.
So I guess then, when was it kind of, could you see the people when they were in the room with Taylor, or was it kind of a totally separate room that people were going into individually with her?
Yeah, so we kind of like lined up outside the door that goes into the room, so you can kind of like, if you were near the front of the queue and they opened the door and walked in, you could like sort of get a glimpse, and then they obviously like shut the door. But I remember I was at the front of the line and I was like to the girl behind me, I can't do this right now, you go first.
Oh my God.
I'll go next. But then she was like, no, it'll be fine, just go, you've been like waiting for this for so long, just go. And I was like, oh my God, okay. I kind of wanted her to be like, okay, I'll go first, but she didn't, and I was like, God.
It's just must have been so overwhelming, like, because you've already had obviously the lead up of those 2 weeks waiting, and now you're lining up to actually meet this person. Wow, I think I probably would have. Did anyone have a breakdown? Was there anyone like?
Yeah, did anyone like collapse? Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone collapsed. I think a lot of people kind of cried. I almost cried.
Yeah, no, that's obvious. Yeah. I probably would be on the floor.
Yeah, literally, I was just like, oh my God. I remember I walked into the room and I was like, oh my God, she's so tall.
That is a lot of people's first impression of her, because when you see her in pictures, I guess she does seem very tall, but everyone I hear talking about her is like, they walk in and they're like, wow, she's so tall.
Plus, she was wearing these big like platform trainers as well. It was even taller, and I was like looking up, I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
So other than the fact that she was really tall, what were kind of your first other impressions of Taylor? Because some people have always said that when they've met her, she actually doesn't look like how they think or something. Like she almost like looks, it's strange. People say that she just looks slightly different. And I've seen things where people say, this is what Taylor actually really looks like. She doesn't really look like this, which is a strange thing to say. But what were your kind of first impressions?
Yeah, I kind of get that. It's almost like ethereal. Like, it's just like, wow. But I think like obviously I was just like, oh my God, she's so tall and she's so pretty. And she's so like genuinely nice. Like I know everyone says that, but it's just like I was just standing there panicking, my mind's gone blank, and I just stay. And then she was like asking me questions, and she was like, oh, like, how was your journey here? And like, did you get here okay? And she was like, I'm so glad you could make it. And then I remember because I had to, because it was kind of like further out in London than I usually go to, I had to take like not the underground, like an actual train.
Yeah.
Which I'd never done before. And I was telling her, I was like, oh, I've never been on an actual train before. She was like, oh my God, like, I'm so glad you like managed to get here okay and all of that. And I was like, yeah, thanks. And then we kind of like talked, and then she was like, we have all these, like, she was like, do you want to do a standing or a sitting photo? And I was like, sitting, because she's really tall and I don't
yeah.
But then she was like, okay, well, you can take your pick, because there was like 3 different sofas, and I just pointed to a random one. I was like, that one.
That's so crazy. Like, so when, because I guess the thing that I've always felt like with these things is that, and it's not so much so now that the rules have changed a little, but it used to be that like once you met Taylor, that was kind of it.
Yeah.
And it must just be like this kind of feeling of, oh my gosh, this is, once I walk out that room,
yeah,
I'll never kind of have that experience again. And like, especially the photos, like that's what you kind of take away. So it must have been quite a lot of pressure.
Yeah, although they were quite nice about it. Like, they show you the picture on the camera.
Oh, okay.
Like, if you want to take another one, it's fine. And I was like, no, it's fine. I didn't really want to be difficult. And I kind of liked the picture. And I was like, no, it's fine. And she was like, are you sure? Like, you definitely want the picture? And I was like, yes, I'm good.
That's
nice.
How many people were kind of floating around that were like Taylor Nation or photographers? Was there quite a lot of, because it seems like there was quite a few people kind of about.
Yeah, so there were like a couple people at the back of the room, and then there was the person with the camera like taking the pictures. But yeah, in general, there were like quite a few people from Taylor Nation there.
And I guess like secure, because I suppose it's kind of a security thing, because realistically she's inviting all these people into her house. Like, that must have been where you kind of checked before you met her.
They like metal detector scanned us before.
Wow.
Gosh, to make
That's
sure it was
overwhelming.
Because we had to leave all our stuff at the original meeting place, and they had security there watching our stuff. And then we got there, because obviously they were like, you cannot bring anything. And I remember, because I have asthma, I was like, I went up to Taylor Nation, I was like, can I like take my inhaler just in case?
Yeah.
She was like, I'll hold on to it for you, and like if you need it, you can come ask me. I was like, okay, cool.
Oh my God, not even an inhaler. They're like,
Yeah.
no, we're not chancing it.
Literally nothing. And then when you get there, they literally scan you with one of those like wand things, and then you can go in.
Did you? So
crazy.
I'm guessing no one got to bring anything, because I think from one of the secret sessions she had like kind of an her arm full of armbands. Was anyone allowed to give any gifts,
So
or did you give any
people did
gifts?
bring stuff, and they asked like, can we like bring these things? And they told us to like leave it on the table at the original meeting place, and that they would give it to her after.
Oh, okay.
Right.
So I'm assuming that's what they did.
Yeah.
Did you leave up anything there?
I did not think that through, so I didn't. I was
No, I don't think I would have either, to be honest with you. I don't.
And it would be hard to know
What
what
do you
to.
give a superstar?
Yeah.
Yeah,
What do you
exactly.
give like a global mega superstar? That's like that's crazy. Must have been so cool. And then I guess you kind of had which you don't have to talk about at all, but a personal chat with Taylor. I guess you kind of told her how much of a fan you are and stuff like that. And then what was kind of after you had your photo taken, did you kind of what was kind of like saying goodbye to her like did you kind of say like bye and
Yeah, so
See ya.
we said bye, and then she kind of like because she like squeezed my hand before I like
oh
out.
Oh,
I was kind of walking to the door, and she was like, love you, and I was like, love you too. And I was
oh
like,
that's
God.
so sweet. That's so lovely.
It's just so genuine and genuinely nice.
Yeah.
It must have been very comforting as well for you guys because, like I said, overwhelming. All of these people like crying, screaming,
Yeah. And
and to
everyone's
have like
always like, people always say, never meet your heroes and stuff, but I feel
right.
like she's just so nice all the time to like her fans and stuff. I've never seen anyone have a bad experience with her, so yeah, that was
Wow.
really to kind of like confirm, like she is so like nice.
So she lived up to your expectations, really, then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Going back a second to like who was around.
Yeah.
Was her parents, her publicist tree? Did you catch a glimpse of anyone? The cats, anything like that?
The cats and her parents weren't there. Tree was there though.
Oh, cool.
We did. I also literally just remembered before when you asked about if we had any like exclusive looks at anything. We actually did. They showed us when we were waiting to meet Taylor. They showed us the Lover journals.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, I literally completely forgot about that. So they kind of like passed them around. Obviously, I think I got a glimpse of like one or two of them, and we saw the like All Too Well.
That's what I was gonna say. The All Too Well lyrics. Oh my
we were all
gosh.
just looking for that, literally.
You were like, where is it? Where is it?
Which one it was in, and then Tree came and kind of like collected them after. She was like, I'm really sorry if I need to take them back, and we were kind of talking to her a little bit. But yeah, she's really nice as well. I was so intimidated by her. I was like, oh my god, that's Tree. Like she does everything. And I was like,
so
it was really.
It was Tree was the one who was passing around the Lover diaries.
Yeah, and then she came.
Oh my god.
Them back again after, and we sort of talked to her for a bit. But yeah.
Wow. That is so amazing.
Cool. Yeah, that's so cool. The fact that you guys kind of got such an exclusive. You guys got to see the All Too Well lyrics that ironically never actually then ended up in the 10-minute version.
I remember when All Too Well 10-minute version came up, and I was like going through my Lover journal, and I was like, wait, these aren't even the lyrics that are in the song, so what happened to those?
Yeah. It's like, what happened to those, and what happened to your Love a Secret Session recording that they did?
Yeah.
They're still in a vault somewhere. That vault needs to be unlocked, I think. That's so cool. So I guess then after you met Taylor, then you were taken back to the bus, did you say?
Yeah, so then once the bus filled up, they drove us back to the original meeting place, and then we kind of collected our stuff, and people sort of like took pictures with each other and that, and then we left.
Gosh, so and then didn't you get like a tote bag full of kind of some goodies and stuff? What was kind of included in there?
Like a white tote bag, and they like screen printed Lover Secret Sessions 2019 on it. And
that's lovely.
It was like a random mix, so everyone got something different. It was mostly like me merch.
Yeah.
And then so everyone got one small, one medium, one large.
Oh gosh.
So it was kind of like, so some of it didn't like the small didn't fit, so I think I gave it to myself to like trade with people on the bus.
Oh, that's cool.
Like, do you want this small and I'll take a medium? But I couldn't really get anyone to let go of anything. Just more to my sister and keeping the medium and the large. Yeah. But yeah,
So other than the bag, was there anything that was kind of exclusive to the Lover Secret session? Like, did you get kind of a T-shirt or a pin or a
Yeah,
keychain?
we got a pin that said Lover Secret Sessions on it.
Oh, that must be such a like treasured possession. That must be
Yeah.
Yeah.
so. Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Gosh, it's madness. It's such a cool experience and so
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
exciting. I guess sometimes you think like, was that real? Like you must
Literally,
think back and be like, what?
I literally think back and I'm like, did that even happen? Like, it's so crazy.
Yeah, and then how long was it? So I guess then you kind of got back on the bus, were dropped off at the original location, took photos, and then went back home. How
Yeah.
long was it before you got your photo?
They literally, it was actually really quick. They emailed it at like 4 a.m.
Oh my
I
God.
didn't see it till but yeah, they literally emailed it like almost immediately, like a couple hours after the session had ended.
Okay, so
Taylor
not long then.
Nation working overtime.
Yeah, they were on it. Yeah,
Yeah, and the picture is such high quality as well.
yeah.
Like you
Oh,
could
that's so
zoom
good.
so much and it would still be like amazing quality.
That is so good because I've been to a couple meet and greets and some people have said that previous meet and greets that they've been to the picture quality was really poor and that
Yeah.
would be such a shame, or then they really didn't like their picture and it would be such a shame to kind of get that back, you know, and it not be you know how you anticipated it or wanted it. So the fact that it was really good quality and you really liked your picture and stuff, it's so cool. And the fact you didn't have to wait too long, because I would just be stressing, you know, the fact that they left you for a week before they rang you,
Yeah, exactly.
you know, you just think, oh, am I going to be left for a week again?
Yeah, because I think a lot of people kind of didn't go to sleep after and they like got their pictures straight away. And I remember waking up in the morning and with like loads of DMs and texts like, did you get your picture? Did you get your picture? And I was so
Wow.
confused. I was like, huh? And then I checked my email and I was like, oh, okay.
I guess when you got back home then, it must have been such a kind of like euphoric moment where you just like so excited, like
Yeah.
it all kind of hit you.
Also, yeah, I was also extremely tired.
Oh, I bet.
But yeah, I feel like a lot of people kind of stayed up, but I just like went home and went to sleep.
Sleep, yeah.
After I
sure.
like manic posted on all my socials. I
I just met Taylor. Oh my
Yeah, so
God.
what was the reaction from like friends, family, or just like your Taylor account? Was it just like bonkers DMs and like,
Yeah,
oh my
so
God?
I was like, oh my God, I'm so happy for you, blah, blah, blah. Like, because I'd posted very obscure cryptic posts before, but no one sussed it out.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool. You did Easter eggs.
Yeah. It was so funny posting it and no one like realizing what I was posting about. It was kind of funny, but yeah, lots of people were like, "Oh my God, I'm so happy for you. That's so crazy." Because I was just like, "I just met Taylor Swift. Oh my God."
That is
Wow.
madness. That must so cool. And then I'm guessing then did Taylor Nation or anyone from there contact you again, or was that kind of it once you'd finished the event?
That's a very complicated.
Oh, okay.
It's. I mean, it's kind of a long story, but I don't mind telling it. But basically, so one of my friends, my best friend, she kind of sort of pulled a prank on me. Like she basically changed her username on Instagram to Madeeha Loves Taylor, like as a joke, because obviously she knew I was going to the secret session.
Yeah.
But while I was there, she did that, and then she changed the profile picture to like the same profile picture I had on like my fan account, just like as a joke. And I came back, and my friend texted me like, check Instagram, and I saw it, and I was like, oh my God, you guys are so weird. Basically, before that had even happened, like when she had her old username, I think there was this. I think remember before Lover came out, there was kind of rumors that there was going to be a collab with Selena.
Yeah.
And
Right.
this like update account posted about it, and then my friend had like commented under the post that was like, "Don't believe everything you see because like it might not be true." And then she changed her username and to like my name, and then the person must have seen it after thinking that I commented it.
Yeah.
And then they kind of like screenshotted it and posted it saying, this person who went to secret sessions confirmed that this is not
Oh
happened. And I
no.
was like, what? I was like, I did not say that. Like that
Oh
was.
no.
And then Taylor Nation phoned me.
No. Oh no.
And it was so funny because obviously I just like saved their number because why not? Like
Of
when
course, as you do.
it comes up on my phone, Taylor Nation from New York, and I was like, why are they phoning me? What's happening right now?
Yeah.
Picked up the phone and they were like, So we've seen some information got
Oh
leaked.
my
Was
god.
Oh no.
that was not me. I was like, that was not me. That did not happen. It was so weird because that post got spread everywhere. It was on Facebook, it was on Twitter, it was on Tumblr. I was getting DM from
Oh
random.
no.
Why are you leaking information? Blah blah. Taylor trusts you. Blah blah. And I was like, guys, I swear. And it was like a whole like big misunderstanding. And I
Yeah.
kind of explained it to them, and I was like, oh my god, they're not gonna sue me.
Oh my god.
Obviously, I signed an NDA. I was panicking.
Exactly.
It wasn't me. And they were like, okay, just make sure you don't leak anything else. I was like, don't worry, I won't. I
Oh
was
no.
like, I
Oh
didn't
my goodness.
know, and I was freaking out, but it ended up being fine. But I was extremely annoyed at that person.
Having signed
at
an NDA and these people
panic.
calling you.
Yeah. And I was like, oh my god, are they gonna sue me?
Oh my god, can you imagine? Right,
So
court is
funny.
in session.
Yeah, it's so funny because that information was never like it wasn't even a thing because there wasn't a Selena collab.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So I don't understand what they were like. I don't know. It was very strange because I remember after they phoned and I was checking my story and I saw that they'd viewed my story and I was like, oh.
Oh, they were monitoring you at that point.
Clearly they were monitoring everyone because otherwise they would not have seen.
That's so interesting. Oh gosh.
Extremely scary when it was happening.
Wow.
Yeah,
I
that's
bet
mad.
in a way you must have felt like relief when the album actually came out because you're like, right, I can talk again now.
Exactly. Yeah.
And yeah, you don't have to worry that you're going to get another phone call
Yeah.
off of Taylor Nation being like, you're talking too much. You need to be careful what you're talking about. But that's mad that they were thinking about something that wasn't even real.
Yeah.
It's almost like they just want no information at all so that, when the album comes out, it's a total surprise for people. But the thing is people want, to just know slight things from Secret Sessions because it's such a unique experience, to be invited to Taylor's house or, a rented property or whatever. And get to hear the fact that you heard like at that time unreleased Taylor Swift music. That's just so exciting, and it's mad. It must still feel like such a cool experience. And the fact that with Folklore and Evermore we haven't been able to have Secret Sessions, that you guys were kind of the last guys to really experience that is such a cool experience and something that you must, like I said, if I ever did something like that, which it's almost impossible, but I just think I would just every so often it would hit me like, what, like I did that, like so cool.
Honestly, I was just like I was like to my family, I hope you guys all know that I am never gonna shut up about this.
Yeah, this is like I'm gonna frame my personality on this. Yeah.
Yes, so you should.
I talk about it and she's like, oh, again.
Gosh, that's mad. And then I guess after kind of when Lover came out, did some of your opinions or initial opinions change upon its release day?
A little bit, because I feel like I didn't really remember most of the songs, although we did kind of make a joint Google Doc, and everyone kind of wrote down what they remembered that she said, and like some of the lyrics. So I kind of had it kind of jogged my memory a bit.
Yeah,
because like I said, I really don't have a good memory. Like when I left, the only songs I could remember was Lover and London Boy. Like,
yeah.
Soon You'll Get Better, and I couldn't remember any of the other songs.
Gosh.
And I also got some of the names really wrong. Like I thought that Miss Americana and the Heartbreak Prince was called Americana Queen and the Homecoming something. I don't even know.
Oh really? What was there other songs that you got the titles totally wrong?
Yeah, it was that in Cornelia Street. I thought it was Cornelius Street because when she named it, she obviously said it was where she used to live in New York. And I remember trying to go on Google Maps after trying to find it, typing the wrong thing, and like thinking, well, I'm so confused because
it doesn't. What you on about, Taylor?
It doesn't exist. Yeah, you lying? Like, yeah.
Yeah,
that's so funny. That is so funny. And so, what was some of the songs then that maybe your opinions changed on, or did it sound better upon listening to it with second ears, or like you said, because you said that when you first heard it was like big speakers and everything sounded so big, and was it different? I guess
I forgot that you existed. I thought it was way more upbeat than it actually was.
Yeah,
I thought it was like full summer level upbeat because of the massive speakers, and then I was like, oh maybe it's not that upbeat.
That's so funny. And maybe I suppose then with tour that would have been it. Maybe I Forgot You Existed would have been even bigger. And I guess talking about tour, did you have plans to go to the Lover tour?
Yeah, I had tickets to Lover Fest.
Oh.
I remember I spent almost £200 on the Golden Circle.
Gosh. So were you planning to go to the Hyde Park show?
Yeah, because
that was I had the same. I had those tickets as well.
Usually when I before that, when I'd gone to concerts, obviously I had no money. I was 18, and I would get kind of cheap-ish tickets. So when I went to Reputation tour, we were in the 100s level, but at the back.
Yeah.
So it wasn't the best seats, and they were still really expensive. They were £100, but I didn't have the extra £30 to spend on pits. It was so annoying because tickets got released. You couldn't just buy a pit ticket; you had to buy it as a VIP package, and it was £500. And then 2 days before the concert, they released pit tickets, and it was £132. And I was seriously, extra £30 had been on the floor.
Yeah.
But yeah, before that, I hadn't had really good seats at concerts. So then, at the time, I had a bit more money, and I was okay, I'm gonna get really good tickets, and I'm gonna go so early, and I'm gonna be right at the front. And then it was really disappointing.
Yeah, no, it is a real shame, and it would have been such a cool experience because obviously you're kind of an integral part of the Lover kind of era and stuff. It would have been.
I feel people's opinions on the album would have changed after they heard it live as well.
Massively, yeah.
I agree.
We've kind of mentioned that, haven't we, before, where we think that opinions on songs massively change when you do hear them live. I remember with Reputation hearing some of those songs live, and I was like, wow, I have a totally new opinion on that. And even with other artists, I've heard songs where I'm like, oh wow, this is so much cooler in a room with 3,000 however many other people. See, I agree there that I think people's opinions would have massively changed. And how did you feel about, because the reaction to Lover has always been a bit mixed, so what was your opinion when the fandom's reaction was coming after its release? Were you kind of like, oh no, I'm really protective of this album?
Yeah, kind of. I mean, I get where people were coming from with the weird ordering of the album and kind of songs like Me, why was it there and stuff like that. But they were trashing on half the album, and I'm like, guys, it's really not that bad. You need to calm down.
Literally.
No, yeah.
So what is your opinion on Me? Because we've spoken about Me a lot on the channel.
I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of that song.
Right. We get that. We both have opinions. I think we've got to take it for what exactly. We've got to take it for what it is. It's a cute little song.
There's nothing else to really say about.
Yeah. Okay. We get it.
Yeah.
And then I suppose what just to kind of round it off, what do you think is next in the Taylor Swift world? What do you think is coming next? Because obviously
I've heard rumours that she's doing a stadium tour next year.
Yeah.
But
I
don't really understand how it would work.
Right.
At least God knows how many songs after that, and also when is the next re-recording?
Exactly. That's what we're feeling. That's why we thought we'd ask you to see whether you had maybe any ideas that we didn't.
I mean, I want to believe that it's Speak Now because I just want it so badly, but at the beginning of the year, I thought that Speak Now was going to be next, but now that I'm hearing Summer, I kind of think it's going to be 1989.
Yeah, no, that's kind of how we feel, wasn't it? In January, we were like, Speak Now's next, confirmed. And then now it's oh, we've got 2 songs off of 1989. Realistically, that's probably the one that's next. We are in a strange era, and I suppose, and that's the thing, I wonder if we will ever have secret sessions again.
Yeah,
because
I wonder that.
Because it's with these Taylor's versions, obviously we're not getting them, and because of COVID and stuff, we didn't get them for Folklore and Evermore. So wonder if the Lover secret session is kind of the secret session is a dying breed.
It's interesting to think about. I want to hope that she'll do them again. But...
And then I suppose tour is difficult, isn't it? Because it is what would the tour be called?
Yeah,
because
I still want to hear Lover.
Yeah.
Right. We have an episode discussing exactly that, what the Lover Fest would have been, and there's just so much that was planned that looks so interesting and so good, and I really do think it would have elevated a lot of those songs to the next level.
Yeah, I'm scared she's just gonna forget that it existed and only sing 3 songs from it.
Yeah. That's, because we still haven't heard Cruel Summer live. That's mad.
Oh, like exactly. Like we haven't heard most of it, and I'm scared she's gonna do some weird mishmash. I don't know, greatest hits sort of thing, maybe. And
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
a lot of the songs on Lover, and I really don't want that to happen. But also, I also want to hear songs from Folklore and Evermore and kind of like vault songs. It's really hard. Like I don't know what she's gonna do.
It is hard, and I'm also very anxious about with tour that trying to get tickets is going to be
God,
mad.
it's gonna be a nightmare. I'm not ready.
Yeah, and then the prices, like you know,
Yeah.
you were just saying about Rep, how expensive Rep was and how expensive Loverfest was, and I feel like it's going to be mad.
Yeah. Oh God.
Hopefully it won't be too bad. But no, that's interesting that, yeah, your opinions are very similar to us, and it is weird in the moment, in the fandom at the moment. We're kind of very much in this limbo
Yeah.
phase of kind of what is really next. But no, hopefully it won't be too long before Speak Now, because we're very excited for Speak Now, Taylor's version as well. We desperately want to hear
I
it.
just really want to hear Battle Taylor's version. And
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and those other solo co-writes, those solo rights, sorry, like
yeah.
hopefully we'll get more solo rights on Taylor's Vault, because there's something about, and I guess when Taylor was talking about going back to the secret session, when she was talking about certain songs that she wrote solo, was she kind of really, because in the interview stuff, she was always really proud of the fact that Lover she wrote by herself. Was she kind of like that when she was explaining it?
She did emphasize that she wrote Lover alone.
Yeah, she was like really.
She's always so proud of them.
Yeah, she kind of like did emphasize a lot which songs she wrote alone, and then like who she wrote certain songs with. Because I feel like who she wrote them with kind of reflects on the actual song itself. Like if she did Antonov or Joe Little, or
right,
but it's kind of like you could kind of see them through the song as well.
Yeah, no, I agree. I've always found when I hear certain Taylor songs, I'll be like, "That's a solo, right?" Or "That's been written with Jack." Like you can just kind of tell, and that's interesting that she kind of emphasised that as well.
Yeah, we've exhausted you probably.
Yeah, we've drained you of every ounce of your experience. We're just like, tell us this.
It's just so interesting. It's such a special moment, and yeah, thank you so much for wanting to share that with us. That's
I don't mind. I could talk about it forever.
Yeah.
That's brilliant.
No, thank you so much for coming on here.
Before we do stop anything, just let everyone know where they can find you, what you get up to on Instagram, how you form part of this fandom, just so people can follow, because like I said, your Instagram is so great.
Thanks. So my Instagram is Can't Say Hello to You, like the lyrics from I Almost Do. And I post like threads. It's like whatever I kind of put on the top of my head. So like we talked about like everything Taylor's ever baked, or I've done like You Belong With Me in every era, like the evolution, or just like random. I just post everything, to be honest. And I'm also on Twitter. It's Bubble T Swift. I'm like sort of active on there. I don't know. I don't really. That's kind of like a mishmash of things. But if you want to follow me on there, and you could, if you want, follow my Tumblr. I don't really use it that often.
Yeah,
I think it's Sweet Tea in the Summer, but it's like one T instead of sweet tea. Like, I don't know how to explain that, but I think
we'll have links anyway. Yeah. We'll have links to your stuff in the description on our YouTube video. So if anyone wants to check that out, that will be there. Thank you all very much for listening. We hope you enjoyed this episode. We had such a good time chatting about the Lover Secret sessions, and again, are so appreciative of being joined today by our special guest. Links will be in the description over on YouTube. If you did enjoy this episode and would like to hear more, or for us to have more guests on, give this video a like on YouTube, leave a comment telling us who you would like us to speak with. And if you're listening on Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, then you can rate us as well if you do enjoy the podcast. And for any extra content, as always, you can check us out on Instagram at Swiftly Spoken Podcast.